to The Sophia Show, where we talk and you listen. On today's penultimate episode of The Sophia Show, we have, if not the most important guest on our wonderful show. So let's let him introduce himself.
Hey everyone, I'm Brian Pittman, and I am your very proud Patriot principal here at Apex Friendship High.
All right, now first question is, can you give us a sort of walkthrough of a day in the life of Mr. Pittman?
Well, no 2 days are the same, that is for sure, and that's one of the things I love about the job. Every day has some routines to it, but you really never know what'll come your way. But if I were to describe my day overall, it's a lot of listening, it's a lot of problem solving, and just always being on the lookout for how you can be of service to others. Now, when you're a high school principal, sometimes people don't always want the service you're able to provide, but it's always about service and people.
All right. Now, can you tell us a bit what it was like transitioning from your old school to joining the Pat fam?
Yeah, so I've been at several schools in Wake County, high school wise. I've been at Green Hope and at Middle Creek and Holly Springs and now Apex Friendship. And I had a little bit of a break between Holly Springs and here when I was at Central Services. But, every school is different. And, one of the things that I really have enjoyed about Apex Friendship is it really has an atmosphere and a culture like nowhere else that I've been before. It really is a place where the people who are here, students, staff, families, everybody wants to be here. People love being part of the Pat fam, and I am just excited to be part of it too.
All right, and what's one of your favorite things about being a principal?
So the best job that I'll ever have is dad. Two great kids who are the best part of any day. And I think that plays into being a principal in that as parents we worry about our kids, we're proud of our kids, we want the best for them. So a lot of times when I think of the role of principal, I think of when my kids are successful, when they're struggling, when they've hit a rough patch, like what is it that I want someone to be there in their lives to do? And so for me, that is the best part of being a principal. It is the ability to help other people, to be there in a moment where somebody is struggling, to try to listen and see what you can do to help someone. And ultimately, the role of principal really is just a small role of cheerleader and supporter in a much longer journey for all the students and adults that come through here. And that's a great role to have.
Yeah, now building off of that, what's one thing that you're most proud of about Apex Friendship High School?
Apex Friendship was a remarkable and special place long before I ever got here. And one of the things that I'm really proud of at Apex Friendship is that I think this school has, more than a lot of schools that I've known, they've really held on to the spirit and the passion that opened the building, because I think when the building opened, it was the people. And I was told and reminded by one of our original teachers when I got here, just going on just about 2 years ago now, that in the beginning the work was simple. It was know the people around you and care about the kids in front of you. And so we've really tried hard in the last couple of years to really focus in on that as our purpose. And so what am I proud of about being a part of Apex Friendship? I work with the most amazing people here that I've ever met, students, staff, families, and so what I'm proud of is just that I get to be part of this family that's made up of all of us Patriots.
Oh, I love that. And now one more kind of final surprise question to throw at you. So we're very much nearing graduation, and what is one piece of advice that you'd like to give to the class of 2024 before they continue on their journey through life?
I love graduation. When you're a high school principal, I think that's one of the things. You love graduation, but I think my advice to seniors is to really take a moment. They'll come up, they'll walk up the steps, they'll pause there for a moment right before their name gets read, and I think my advice is just to sort of take a moment and look around there, because while seniors don't think they're going to be nervous in that moment. Before they get to graduation, they're like, yeah, I'm done. It's time to get out of here. And the truth is that seniors, they have outgrown us by the time that we get to graduation. And that's the way that it should be. But I think that the thing that I hope all seniors will do is just take a moment as they walk up those steps. They pause at the top of the steps to just look around at the people that they've shared this journey with. They take a look at all of the people there that love them and support them. And they take a look at the other side of that stage, because high school is all about enjoy it, grow from it, but it is about what are you leaving here to do next. And I hope they'll take a moment to just really be proud of what they've built, what they're walking towards, and who they were able to share this journey with. And I'm really proud that I was able to be a small part of that journey.
All right, I'll definitely take that advice with me, and I'm going to encourage everybody watching to do that too. All right, well, thank you so much for coming to talk on the show.
My pleasure. All right.
Well, hello everyone again, and welcome back to the Sophia Show, where we talk and you listen. Again, on today's episode, we have a very, very special guest too. Without him, the show wouldn't even be a thing. So let's let our special guest introduce himself.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mr. Perks, and we are coming to you live from the backstage in room 3213 with Miss Sophia.
Whoop whoop! All right, and now we are going to dive deep into Mr. Perks' life. So, let's get started. How and why did you become a teacher?
Well, to be quite honest, I never wanted to be a teacher. When I was young, I wanted to be an entrepreneur because it was a big fancy word. And I thought I would be rich by the time I was 27. $1 million was rich back then. So that was my goal. And I did wind up going to college. I was the first one in my family to go to college for business. And then I graduated, and the entire economy collapsed. So wasn't many jobs around. Mid-level managers were looking for entry-level jobs. And so it was a rough couple of years. And honestly, somewhere around 1993, I just wasn't feeling very good about myself. So I walked downtown and I enlisted in the Army.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I needed something in my life, and wasn't a great student, which meant I wasn't a great college student. But when I went in there, it was the first time in my life anyone actually pushed me to, have expectations of myself. So I got stationed with the 82nd Airborne Division, and it turned out to be a really great time in my life. But I knew I didn't want to stay in the whole time, so after about 2 or 3 years, I started trying to think about what I would want to do with my life. And I thought back to those times that I kind of had the most joyous moments. And a lot of them came down to either kind of coaching or working with young people. So I got out of the military and went back and got my master's in business education. And I officially became a teacher.
How long did you enlist for?
So I enlisted for 4 years, but I was only in for 3 because I applied for early release. But it was pretty cool. I got to wear one of those fancy berets because we were airborne, and I got in the best shape of my life. And I got some wisdom and some confidence that I didn't really have when I was young. And so for me, it was definitely a little bit of a turning point. And then when I got out and I went back for my master's degree, I was a great student because, my life had changed. And in the teaching profession, when I'm so frustrated with so many young boys, I think it's because I see myself, and I had a lot of ability, but no one kicking me in the pants to do better.
Speaking of that turning point, what's your biggest takeaway or something that you will always remember from enlisting in the Army?
Well, I've already mentioned a few of the things, just, a sense of confidence in who you are as a person and the physical fitness stuff. But the 2 things I remember the most were, one, how calm I was. I don't really have a calm nature. And there was just something, I think, because you were put in so many stressful situations that the normal daily stressors just seemed to kind of dissolve. So things didn't get to me. And the other thing was, we didn't grow up with much, and I always had this idea of trying to take care of my mom. And for the first time in my life, God forbid something would happen, I had a huge insurance policy, so I felt like if anything happened, my mom would be taken care of. And those were the two things that I remember most about how it kind of changed the way I approached life.
So you got your master's in business education, joined the education teaching field. What led you to the video editing and design part of teaching?
Yeah, it's funny because I often say I'm really kind of a fraud as a teacher because I didn't go to school for any of what I've done for the last 15 years. So back in the day, business education swallowed up computer applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and then that sort of expanded into some of the other software programs. So there was a class that was digital photography, which had some Photoshop, and then that expanded into Illustrator. And then when I moved to North Carolina, the digital media stuff had the video stuff. And so I just kind of evolved into it. I enjoy it much more than lecturing. I still don't think I'm a great designer or a great video editor. And people like Sophia are much better than me, but I think I do a good job of helping students make videos that they're proud of. I can help others make good videos, and I can certainly help prepare them for the credentials and the other stuff. So yeah, I'm a bit of a fraud, but it sure beats lecturing for 80 minutes a period, if anyone still does that.
Yeah. Now, what's your favorite part about being a teacher?
That's a tough one, because I know you've probably, just in the past few years, you can see the profession has changed a lot in 25 years. And I think in the beginning when I got into it, I wanted to have this sense of sort of being in control of my own little world and a lot of autonomy, right? And just having my little space. And students haven't really changed that much, but society has changed, technology has changed, the school system has changed, and I think the one thing that probably keeps most teachers in it is, the students. I took a job outside of teaching for a while. I went to the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, and I guess it would be considered a promotion, but after a few years, I missed students. The thing that drives you most nuts, right? But in the end, it's the kids that come in before lunch, during lunch, before school, after school, the clubs, and all the classroom stuff. And, whether it's a kid who is struggling and, you can help them get somewhere, or whether it's a high flyer who does everything great, in the end, it'll probably be all the little notes and all the little papers that were left behind that are in a giant bag in the back room. And I think for most teachers, that's why we're still here.
I love that.
It's certainly not because I'm getting rich or...
That's fair. Yeah.
But it's a great profession.
Mm-hmm.
Great profession.
Now, before we end this, I want to give a special extra close-up on Mr. Perks to thank him for just this show, for giving me the ability to learn about what it takes to run, a talk show, and to have the opportunity to even do this in the first place. Without you, I wouldn't have grown this much. I wouldn't have been able to meet a lot of people. I wouldn't have been able to bring the mayor in here to have that interview, to make the connections like that, to have the Sophia show up for all your classes throughout the entire year. So I want to thank you and tell you how much I appreciate you, because I would not have become the person I am. I would not be going into the career that I am, the field that I am studying, without your guidance.
Anyone who knows Sophia knows that isn't true.
Well, okay.
I will take a little bit of credit for having a space But I just made the mistake of saying, hey, Sophia, you should do a talk show.
The
And then
mistake.
before you knew it, it was all set up. So, you know, you're one of the most doers I've ever met in my life. So be careful what you mention to her, because there's a good chance it'll happen. So I appreciate it, but in the end, you know, you've probably given me more than I've given you.
Well, thank you for everything you've given me.
You're welcome.
All right, everyone, that has been it for the Sophia Show for this week. Now we have one episode left, but until then, thank you very much. Good night.